Right. I think we might be going live on YouTube round about now. Fantastic. So that will be lovely if we. Oh, it says meeting is now streaming live on YouTube. Hurrah! We'll just let people get used to the idea that we're here, and then I'll introduce you to all my fantastic people that are on the call. Yeah, that looks like that's worked. Oh, this is all going terribly well. So hello, welcome to the After Dinner Show with me, Jeremy Nicholas. How are you all doing in this time of the coronavirus? We're all doing our very best. I feel like I've just been living my life on Zoom at the moment. Let's welcome the guests. First of all, Stuart Harris. Where are you, Stuart?
Hello, I'm in East Kilbride, just outside of Glasgow. It's lovely. It's beautiful up here today.
Fantastic. And John Hotowka, where are you, John?
I'm in Bradford in Yorkshire. It's been gorgeous and all up here, the nose, aye.
Fantastic.
I'm just calm and we'll whip it down. Get down, boy.
Yes, you've got your Yorkshire accent filtered too high on your microphone. Let's go to Penny Haslam. Where are you, Penny?
Hi, Jeremy. Good evening, everyone. I'm in Lymm in Cheshire. We can boast that from this house, any house in Lymm, you can get to Lymm services on the M6 without having to go to the motorway.
Fantastic. And I don't know about you, but I feel like I have just been living my life on Zoom at the moment. Somebody sent me this picture recently of the Last Supper. How many Zoom calls has everyone had so far in the last week?
Too many.
Yeah.
Way too many.
So we're all professional speakers and none of us have got any live audiences. So we thought we'll just get together and have a bit of a drink. There's just 3 rules for the After Dinner Show. One is that you have to tell a story and it has to be a true story told from first-hand experience. And then the 3rd rule is that you have to have had your dinner. So we just need to check what everyone's had. I've had a chicken and mushroom pie, gluten-free crust from AJ's Proper Pies in Twickenham. Stuart, what have you had?
I had a ham and leek pie from Lidl with some spinach and toasted nuts of some sort.
Yeah, okay.
Toasted nuts.
I had a chicken curry that came from the fridge.
And I had a Spanish omelette, not from Spain, with a slice of sourdough bread. And I've left the empty plate behind so I can prove it.
Fantastic. Okay, is everyone coping all right with the coronavirus? What's happening in your areas? Stuart, you were saying that you have bagpipers in your street.
Yes, it was actually quite nice. I know a couple of bagpipers that went out on the first Thursday night round of applause. I know a couple of bagpipers went out. And then last Thursday, all over Facebook, certainly across Scotland, there was a lot of bagpipers saying, please get your bagpipes and come out and play Scotland the Braves. So streets up and down in Scotland, you'd look out, you see people clapping and actually saying hello to neighbours, and at least one bagpiper walking up and down the street playing Scotland the Brave. It was lovely. It was just really, really nice. A couple of friends going to trip, Lou Marshall and Fergus Muirhead. Brilliant. Thanks, guys.
Oh, well, that's lovely. Lovely to hear. Because, I thought we had it bad, but then you've got the bagpipes as well going on. So, I think if I had bagpipes in my street, I would self-isolate. What's happening with you, Penny, in Lymm? What's it like with you?
It's a very quiet village anyway, so it just feels like a Sunday or something here, to be honest. But it's been like that for weeks, obviously now into week 3. You just end up counting your blessings. We've got outdoor space, we've got a nice house to live in. We quite like each other, me and the other half, and my daughter's well behaved. So that's really looking at the pluses. And it is nice. I'm so glad we're still allowed to go outside because you just get to have eye contact with people and say hello, and everyone's very friendly around here. So there is a new radio station that's sprung up called Lymm Radio, and I think it broadcasts from a bedroom in a house, but it does all its interviews down the window. So it opens the window and shouts down to the interviewee below. Don't know if that's allowed, but it's quite fun.
That's nice, isn't it? And I'm glad you're getting on well with your other half. You're not with Steve anymore, then?
Oh, no. Yeah, I'm with Steve. That is, he's doing well. He's coping well.
Yeah. So the interesting thing is that Penny and I have had very similar careers in BBC stations, local radio, regional telly, and things like that. And we've never actually been at the same place, but I have been at the radio station where your husband was for
Yes,
a short
that's
time,
where
and you were
Steve
there
and I
before.
met.
Yeah, and you were there before me and after me, and I had 2 sessions, and we never ever. I think it might be in your contract that we're not allowed to work with each other. John, I understand you're in Bradford,
Yes.
and that you have a 93-year-old lady over the road who's looking out for you.
I've got a 93-year-old. Look, last week, for some weird reason, I slept for 10.5 hours in the evening at night. And I got up, normally I get up about 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. And I got up about 8:30. Within 10 minutes, she was on the phone. Are you all right, love? Are you all right? Oh, why? Well, I thought there might be something wrong. I can't do anything, but I'll be able to phone somebody for you. And I just thought that was really lovely. I thought that was really
That would have annoyed me. You just woken me up. I was having a lovely sleep.
She waited till the curtains were drawn, so that was great. But as far as what's happening in the street, we have got the most beautifully manicured gardens, the cleanest houses, the cars are shining. In fact, next door neighbor, she's cleaned her car about 4 times this week. So it's great.
God. So she literally knew what time you got up, and then because you didn't get up at the normal time, she came over, because she's the same age as the Queen. The Queen is 93, isn't she?
Yes.
Yeah, it's great to see the Queen last night. I thought she was fantastic.
She was brilliant.
And I thought, yeah, well done, the Queen. Everything's going to be all right now we've had her on. And I hope Boris is going to be all right. He's in hospital. And they kept asking at the conference today, what's up with him? Well, they're not going to say, are they? It's personal things. Right, should we do some proper stories? Who should we have first with a proper story? Stuart, do you want to go first?
Yes, I don't mind
Yeah,
going.
go
I don't
first.
mind going. I don't know whether this is bringing it right up to today's world and atmosphere, but I know a number of really good friends that are really concerned about their parents because they're going into care homes and they don't get to see them. However, their parents are now finding out the world about FaceTime, and it's all lovely. And it got me thinking about a number of years ago. I used to run a pub in Norwich, and I was there for 9 years, I think it was, in the 90s. And obviously that's where I lost my Scottish accent. But when I was running it,
I thought you were beginning to sound a bit sort of Norfolk. Yeah,
my bird.
He's gone a bit Norfolk, my lover.
And one Sunday afternoon, one of the regulars came in and ordered a pint. And first thing he said to me was, when was the last time you told those that you love them? And I immediately thought about my mum and dad, and they were up in Scotland. I was down in Norwich. But every week we had a call. And I thought, well, I don't need to say it. They know I love them. I know they love me. But I thought, right, Sunday night on my call, I'm going to say it. Don't care what happens. I'm going to say it. So I phoned the house as usual. And as usual, my dad answered the phone. And as usual, my dad answered it by saying, oh, hi, son, hold on and we'll get your mum. Automatically thinking, like every father does, that I don't want to speak to him, I want to speak to mum. So mum came on the phone, we had a bit of a chat. And all the way through, I'm going, I've got to say it, I've got to say it, I've got to say it, I've got to say it. And it came to the end of the call. And as I was wrapping up, I said, okay, ma'am, I'll give you a call next week. Love you. And then waited for her to say it back. And she didn't.
No.
All she said was, okay, son, I'll speak to you next week. Heartbroken I was, heartbroken. Well, at least for 10 minutes. And then my dad phoned me. And he said, are you okay? Uh-huh. Is everything all right? Uh-huh. Do you need money?
It's a good question. Yeah, it's an obvious question to ask.
Because I knew why he was phoning. I knew the reason why. And I thought, I'm going to make him work for this. So I made him stew. And he said, what was it? You just said something to your mum at the end of the call, bit out of the ordinary. Just want to make sure you're okay. And I said, I said, I love mum, I love you too. It's just we never say it. I know you love me, all that stuff. I love you, love me, love. That's an old song we don't talk about. And my mum, of course, she's upstairs on the bedroom extension. I love you too, son. So ever after that, we always said we loved each other. We always did what we do. And I've since lost them. They've not died, they've just lost. They have died. And so I've relayed that story a couple of times, but I'd always tell my pals, I said, tell those that you love them. And then a number of months later, one of my pals said his father died suddenly. And he said, I know you said to say it, I just never did. And I can't remember the last time I told my dad that I loved him. So every so often after that, we'd be out in the pub and he'd get upset, especially around about Christmas time. And I'd sit there, he'd cry his eyes out, and I'd sit there holding his hands, being there for him. Until one night we were in this really rough pub in Glasgow, if you can imagine. And he just let go, he just burst out crying. And we're sitting in bar stools, and I'm leaning forward, holding on to his hands. And I'm there for you, I'm there for you. Out of the corner, I could see these two big bears standing at the bar. Oh, Glasgow, yeah. And they had the typical Glasgow balanced diet, large whiskey in each hand. But out of the corner of my eye, I could see them, and I'm thinking, they think we've just broken up. And now inside, I'm there for my pal, but inside, I am killing myself laughing. And then the following day, my pal phoned me up and said, listen, thanks for being there for me again last night, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. And I said, I hate to say it, but I don't really know if I was really there for you last night. And he said, why? Told me the story about the guys and what I thought. And I said, in my mind, I'm thinking, they're thinking, oh, the big guy's just chucked the wee guy. And then there was really awkward silence. And I thought, oh God, no, he's away again. I've upset him. And what seemed like an eternity, but it was probably only about 5 or 10 seconds. He came back and went, I'll give you the clean version. Trust me, it wasn't this one that he chose. But he just went, cheeky swines. As if you'd be chucking me. I'd be chucking you. So, especially in these times, go and tell those that you love them. And you feel much better for it, trust me.
Yeah, I think we do need to all tell each other that we love each other, don't we? So, Stuart, I do want to tell you I do love you.
I love you. I'm not too sure the fact that you're trying to impersonate me these days, going for the baldy head and glasses look.
I wouldn't he ever try and impersonate you, by the way?
If the beard comes in by the next time I see you, there will be questions.
No, I haven't got a beard. So Stuart,
accent again,
yeah, Stuart looks after me every summer when I go to the Edinburgh Festival. Stuart looks after me, takes me out, listens to me whining on about, oh, I've got to hand out all these leaflets. No one wants to come to my show Monday and Tuesday.
Stuart,
there's never any audience.
You really love Jeremy. You must really
I love him a bit.
Because he doesn't have to go on about that. He really, don't you, Jeremy?
I hardly ever mention the Edinburgh Festival, but I support Stuart. There was that while I was up there one time, you'd just done a stand-up comedy course, and I came and supported you, didn't I? And
you did indeed.
Remember we had. And afterwards, and I pretended that I had thought you were funny, and
yes.
So
but it's true. You hardly ever mention the Edinburgh Festival, which is why you have that poster behind you on the draw.
Oh, this one.
Edinburgh Festival.
Oh, this.
Yes.
Yeah.
And do you hand out one of these rolls of toilet paper when people come to see you?
Yeah. So these are the prizes tonight on the show. No, so one of my.
You know, when you say you don't mention the Edinburgh Festival, every time your wife Jeanette walks into your office, you hand her a leaflet.
I do. You got a flyer on there. Come to the show every day, 7:30. Gilded balloon. So some of these toilet rolls. So we met some of our neighbours yesterday at a social distance. We were one side of the cars, they were the other side of the cars, and we offered our neighbour Teresa a bag of rice. And she said she'd like that very much. So she took a bag of rice, and then she came back with 3 toilet rolls and said, why have you brought those? She went, well, I felt like that was about the exchange rate for a bag of rice. So, but we've actually, I don't know how many we've got now, but at the start of the outbreak, when I was sent off by Jeanette to go to the shops to get everything we need, you must go to the shops and get everything you need. I went, okay, I think we've got quite a lot of stuff in the garage anyway, because Jeanette loves to do subscribe and save. So she said, go and check how many toilet rolls we've got. So I went down into the garage, 108. We had 108 toilet rolls. So now all the neighbours in our development know that if they need toilet rolls, they've just got to come, a bag of rice or.
Why have you got 108 toilet rolls? Have you been a naughty panic buyer?
It's a stupid question, Penny. It's a stupid.
I'm sorry. Has not everyone got 108 toilet rolls?
Exactly. We've all got 108.
In their garage.
Have you not seen the size of Jeremy's backside?
Yeah. So, well, there's a couple of reasons. One is that we're on a roll.
Thank you
very much. I can't remember who said that in the dress rehearsal. Was it Stuart?
Was it
on the roll? Yes, very good.
Get the poem on the tube.
Yes, on the tube. And No, this is a tissue of lives. Lies, not lives.
Oh, that was nearly good.
Yeah.
That was nearly good, wasn't it? But I panicked and put an extra V in. I
You put a
misread.
V.
I put a V, made lies into lives. Right. Okay. Shall we have another true? That was a great true story. Thanks very much for Stuart. And it was lovely, wasn't it? It was nice. And I think we're all now going to ring up our friends and family and tell them we love them, and they'll all think that we must be dying, because why else would we be ringing up
Exactly.
to tell them that?
Go do.
Now, when I said to Penny, would she tell a true story? She said, yes. Can I share pictures? And I thought, oh, it's gone a bit show and tell. But so Penny, for those that don't know, Penny is a former BBC breakfast business presenter. So she's sort of like a poor man Steph McGovern.
That's right, I actually am. And that's what I tell the speaker bureaus to tell the customers I am. Saving some cash, but getting the quality as well.
She's left now, hasn't she? Breakfast. And she had
Channel 4 now. She's going to have the Steph show, I think.
It was on today. I think it might have been the first one today.
Oh,
I flicked it on for I think I was looking for Bargain Hunt, but I inadvertently landed on on Channel 4.
Brilliant. She's a fantastic broadcaster. I employed her actually at the BBC many years ago when she was at university. She came on as an intern, what you call an intern now, but we just got our mates in to do work experience at the time, no rules then. And yeah, she worked for me on a personal finance program called Money Box. I was producing, and she was like this really keen and brilliant researcher for me. She was just phenomenal. So yeah, so I used to stand in for her on BBC Breakfast and do the business news, which was really good fun. And I also presented on the news channel. I used to be the business person who popped up, I think, just after sport, every hour, on the hour, with the latest business news. So what I'm going to do now is deliver some news to you, because we're all a bit sick of Corona news, aren't we?
Yeah.
Well, actually, I'll bring you some different news. It's very important nonetheless. So I'm going to take you through the slides, because obviously I'm a former BBC and a professional speaker. I can't actually speak without some picture form to go alongside it. So if you've got any questions or comments as we go along, feel free, but I will be pressing on at pace through the presentation. I'm now going to share my screen, which may take a moment.
You're going to what?
You're going to do what? Your screen?
Yeah, I caught that as well.
Yeah, you be careful with that screen. It's new.
Yeah, there's no need to worry, Penny. Jeremy's got the loo roll.
All right.
Good.
Okay, you carry on.
So I used to stand in front of this kind of board on the news channel, and the FTSE 100 would be going up, or would it be going down? I just didn't care. But I did have to pay a lot of attention to my hairdo, which was actually very fitting, because I've always had to pay. I've always wanted to. I love my hair. I love hair. I love having my hair cut. I love dealing with it. So I do have this news, though, that we need to watch out for in Corona times. So first of all, styling.
Ice, baby. Ice, baby.
Now, that was a style from the late 80s.
Which band were you in?
Hazel
Which
Dean.
band were you in?
Oh, I could have been in any band, couldn't I? It looked a bit big country, doesn't it? With the polo neck and the shirt over the top. Or was that Rick Astley? Maybe it was a Rick Astley sort of idea. But anyway.
Yeah, I would say big country, or possibly there's a slight hint of a flock of seagulls, I would say.
Oh.
No. The fringe isn't long enough, Jeremy. No,
Isn't it? Okay.
No, you've got that wrong, mate. You're going to have to revisit that. But maybe Howard Jones, that sort of thing. But yeah, that's a laptop done by my local barbers. Can't remember the name. What barbers did you used to go to? Do you remember the names?
Of the barbers?
Hair, a cut above, that sort of thing.
It was a long time ago.
Huey's, that sort of thing. Okay, so styling's going to be down. We're at home. Our access to products and sprays is going to be limited in the Corona climate. Similarly, styling like this with over blow drying, lots of slicking of gels and sprays. But you know, we're going to see an end to styling. But
that reminds me, I must buy a tea cozy.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So there are dangers to over styling, as we can see in the next slide. I end up looking a little bit like a cartoon or animated character. So that's Gwendoline from A Close Shave. And that's what it might have to be seen, is a close shave, frankly. So that's styling down. But the government has issued a series of warnings now. If we move on to Fringe benefits.
Oh, look at that little nurse.
She was
I've always
25
been
at
a
the time.
fan of a fringe, I have to say. Now,
Yeah. Can I just get the boys on can we hear it for the NHS? Let's have some applause for
Here
our
we go,
lovely little
here,
nurse. There, yes.
I'm going to give the NHS the clap on Thursday night, apparently. So, yeah, so that's when I worked as a nurse. It was a small cottage hospital. I was very much in control and I really enjoyed my job, but a fringe was absolutely crucial for keeping hair out of my face. But it can get a little out of control, and experts are warning anyone who's been maybe drinking a gin and tonic or glass of wine and nips to the loo of an evening, sees the scissors and thinks they're going to have a go themselves at this time. Watch out for those hazards. As we can see in this particular style, circa 94, 95. Apparently it was fashionable. That's me on Falmouth Beach with my brother. I can't tell where my hair finishes at the front and where it begins. But again, you know, we are into the problems associated with that. As we've known historically, it's never been a good look. So
Dave Hill, loved him.
Dave Hill saying, what's he singing there, do you think? Come on. No,
Merry
it's
Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
There's marbles. There's marbles.
Yeah, there's bauble, so it'll be Merry Christmas.
Merry
Won't it?
Christmas.
So here it is. Yeah.
So during such times, you might be tempted to hit the bottle. And again, the government is warning against this, because what you might end up with is colour you didn't expect. The home kits are still available in supermarkets and at the pharmacy. So if we are getting a little desperate and want to just jazz things up a little in the bathroom late at night, you might be hitting the bottle and going for colours that aren't necessarily going to suit you. What else might be happening? You might be going brown at any point. Red, blonde, brown. And there I am with my best friend, celebrating after our first day at sixth form college in 1990 or 88, I can't remember. And yeah, again, the detail of this says it all. The devil's in the detail. If we take a closer look, the brown with the short haircut showing the blonde coming through. Again, it can suit some people though. It really can suit some people, and the comparison there is alarming. I bring you a graph on that, but I don't actually have one at the moment. So anyway, so you don't hit the bottle, otherwise you might end up looking like Cillian Murphy in a few weeks' time. But there are guidelines to follow, and hair can make a difference, of course. And you can, if you get it wrong, you're going to be really grumpy, aren't you? That's me, circa age 14, on a beach in Anglesey, suffering a family holiday in a leaky caravan. I went to sleep with saucepans on my bed because the roof of the caravan leaked. I was probably a bit sleep deprived, a bit challenged by the hormones, and thought the Kirby grip excess in the top crown area there and the short stumpy attempt at a ponytail would actually work. But no, nothing, gentlemen and ladies, can cheer you up during these difficult hair times. If you get it right, you're smiling. You're always going to be smiling. And there you go. Hair can make a difference. If you've been affected by any of the issues, please keep it to yourself. I'm not interested. So there we go.
Fantastic, very good. Yes, very comprehensive, and so lovely and tactful to come onto a program with so many balding men and talk about hair.
Yes, thank you.
That's very.
Memory lane, lads.
That was very.
We'll look like this in a month's time. You won't.
No, that's very true. It'll be quite a different story. I'll be more like Gwendoline from A Close Shave, I think.
When you were doing your BBC Breakfast, your live stuff, did anything ever go horribly wrong?
Not that you'd notice, but for me, it went horribly wrong every day because I was so nervous and felt like I hadn't had any training. I wasn't particularly well supported. I'd just turn up, do the job to what I thought was my, to my best ability, and then I'd go home again. And I do remember one morning I was doing an outside broadcast from a factory in Derby, and it was winter, so it was super dark, really cold. I can't remember what the factory was making, and it was my first ever outside broadcast, and I didn't know what to do. I don't know if I'd done one. I was a radio person, so anyway, so there I was with an earpiece in my ear. I could hear the studio and everything. I did all the normal interviews and all the rest of it, and they said, just stay for one more news bulletin at 8 o'clock, and then we'll call it a day, sort of thing. I think the inflation figures are out or something like that. So bless my little brain. I just had a brain fart, you know, at 8 o'clock. They did, right, this is the weather, this is the headline, this is the sport, over to Penny with the business. And to me, it felt like 25 minutes of me going, inflation figures. But actually, I watched it back and it's like a split second of me going, that's right, we'll be bringing you the inflation. But it really crushed my confidence. I was crying when I got home going, oh, I fucked it up so badly. I mean, I beeped it, screwed it up so badly. And so, yeah, that was the worst thing. But yeah, I just could have, I look back now and think, could have just done it. Could have just breezed it. I was ace at it. But when you don't feel it inside, it's a different thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Sorry.
I want to go to. That's right. That's fine. No one heard you say anything bad. Now, just before I go to John for his story, which is a bit of a change of tone, I just want to do a little bit in between, because I don't like to go from one story to another one that's just completely different, because this is not the one show. They do that on the one show. They just go completely. So I'll just tell you once I was working for television for a regional television station in the East Midlands. Well, it was East Midlands today, wasn't it? Obviously, because I wouldn't work at Central. It was BBC, and it was at Derby, and there was the velodrome was opening in Derby, and I was there to do a soft piece with a councillor about this lovely cycling facility. And then it turned out, can you hear my dog barking? By the way, is that because I can close the door, but then he'll just come and scrabble at the door. Just bear with. Hang on.
Yeah.
Jimmy, stop doing that, naughty boy.
Get
down, Shet.
Talking to me, whippet. Get down.
No, but the last time when I did the show on Friday, Jimmy was scrabbling at the door. So then we let him in, and then he wanted to scrabble to get out. And then Jeanette was carrying him down the stairs, and then she turned her ankle over, and it was a bit of a drama. And so I thought, what's happening? It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
She's scratching at the door as well, Jeanette.
Yeah. Anyway, I was talking to this councillor about the velodrome, and he got a phone call on his mobile, and he said, oh, sorry, can we just stop? And so he went over, but he still had the little microphone clipped on him from our TV thing. And he was on the phone. He went to the other end of the field, and he was going, yeah, no, I'm just talking to East Midlands today now. Yeah, no, I don't think they know about the redundancies. They haven't mentioned anything. So I think we're going to be all right. So but me and the cameraman had our headphones on. We're going, so there's redundancies. What's this? And then he came back, and I did the whole lovely interview about cycling. And then right at the end, I went, can I just ask you about the redundancies? Just a little tip. And I do this in all my media training sessions with people. Once you've got that microphone on, it's on unless it's switched off. And if you go to the toilet, we will all hear you having a wee. Right, so I've changed the tone nicely. John, let's go to John. Let's go to John.
John Hotowka.
Yeah.
And over to me and the weather.
Yeah, John.
Well, I was thinking about the weirdest, because we're speakers. And I was thinking about the weirdest experience that I've had as a speaker. And for me, this story starts way back in October 2012. And like a lot of our speaking gigs it started with a phone call. So the phone rang, and on the other end was, hello, this is Tony. Is that John Hotowka? Yes, speaking. Oh, we'd like to book you. We've got a dinner coming up, and we've seen your videos. We think you're very funny. We'd like to book you. I said, that's fantastic. That's great. I'd love to. When is it, Tony? It's in September. I said, Tony, that's a year. September 2013. No, it's September 2014. That's 2 years, Tony. I'll have a look at my diary. I think I might just be able to squeeze you in. Let's have a look. Oh, yes, I've got a vacancy, 9th of September. Brilliant. So tell me a little bit about the audience. Well, we're the class of 62, and we do get together. We like to have a lot of fun. And I said, hang on a second, Tony. Sorry, what did you say? Did you say the class of 62? Yeah. We're doctors. We're retired doctors, retired GPs. Oh, we are a lively bunch. I said, hang on a minute. Sorry, Tony, forgive me, but what's the average age of your group? Oh, they're about 79, but we do like to have a laugh. And we've seen your videos. We think you're very funny. You'll be great at our dinner. I said, right, okay, fair. Look, I'm not too sure if my humor would really, no, but we've seen your videos. We like to be there. Okay, Tony, I'll do it. So what's the date? It's the 9th of September, 2014. Stoke-on-Trent Moat House. And roughly how many people are we expecting? We're like exactly 79 people. Fantastic. Tony, I'll be there. I'll draw out the contract, send it and sign it. And then I'll give you a call a few weeks before the event. Great, fantastic. Fast forward January 2013. Hello, it's Tony. Hello, Tony. Happy New Year. Yeah, are you still coming to the dinner? We've seen your videos. We think you're very funny. You'll be great. I said, Tony, I sent you the contract by email. Are you in front of your computer? Yes. Have a look at your junk box. Oh, it's here. It's here. I said, sign it, Tony. I'll be there. In fact, let me check the details. 9th of September, Stoke-on-Trent Moathouse, 79 people. I'm afraid we've lost a few. We've only got 72 coming. Oh, says, I'm ever so sorry to hear that, Tony. But we're a lively bunch. Oh, we do like to have a laugh. I want to be seeing your videos. Says, okay, I'll be there, Tony, not a problem. Fast forward, January 2014. Phone rings. Hello, it's Tony. Hello, Tony. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. You're still coming, aren't you? I said, oh, I'll be there, Tony. Oh, we're really looking forward to seeing you, Tony. We've seen your videos. I says, right, fine, Tony. I've got the details here. Let me just double check. Stoke-on-Trent Moathouse, 9th of September, 71 people. I'm afraid we've lost a few. We've only got 57.
Wow.
Oh, I said, I'm ever sorry to hear that. I'm very sorry to hear that. But anyway, but we're a lively bunch. Oh, we do like to have a good time. We've seen your videos. We think you're very funny. You've come highly recommended. I said, don't worry, I'll be there, Tony. We'll have a good time. 3 weeks before the event, I decided to phone them up to check final details. And I said, hi, Tony. Oh, you're still coming, aren't you? I said, yes, I'm still coming, Tony. I'll be there. I'm just checking up the final details and everything. So what I've got here, 9th of September, 7 for 7:30. Stoke-on-Trent Moathouse, and it's 57 people. I'm afraid we've lost a few. We've only got 41 coming now. Oh, well, I'm sorry to hear that, Tony, but we'll have a good time. Yeah, we've seen your videos. We think you're great. I said, we'll be there. And I arrive on the night, and there are 4 tables, 36 places. And please don't judge me for the thought that I had. I'm not proud of it, but the thought that came into my mind was, should I suggest going on before dinner? Because if I wait until after dinner, and I was speaking to the head waiter that night, and he says, it's sad and funny at the same time. I said, but we speeded up the service tonight. Anyway, I thought, oh, I don't know. I'm not looking forward to this. And you know what? It was one of the best gigs that I ever did. They were about 82 years old or something on average. Yes, they were a little hard of hearing. Yes, some of them were the sight could have been a little bit better. Yes, some of them were a little unsteady on the feet, but they knew how to have a good time. They were a lively bunch. And I spoke to the guy that booked me afterwards, and I says, this thing about losing so many people. He says, yeah. He says, it is a bit sad, but we're doctors, we're GPs. We're dealing with death and health all the time. And we're kind of desensitized to it. But you know what? That doesn't mean that we don't value life. And that's why, okay, we've lost a few. We've honored them tonight. And that's why there's so much love in the room and why we're out to have a good time. Sometimes the only thing you can do is live one day at a time. And I thought that was just a beautiful lesson learned. So I decided to treat myself. I decided to get myself some aftershave in the coronavirus. And this is what I've got myself.
Nice. Yeah, lovely.
So, and I've also got my shower gel, my new shower gel.
Yeah. That's very lovely. Now you know that because that first bottle was green, it's given away that is actually a green screen behind you and not your office. Just hold that first bottle up. Look, because we can see through it. We can see there's a green bottle of Dettol.
That's amazing.
Can see through the label of it. That's fantastic, isn't it? Well, it's a lovely. Thank you so much all for coming on and sharing stories. I just want to finish by I just thought I'll try and do a little bit of production, get some production values in here. And I'm not sure how this is going to work, but this was something that somebody sent me. You probably get this all the time, don't you, when people send you funny things during the time of the coronavirus. And so I showed you that one earlier of the Last Supper as a Zoom call. But then this, I hope you'll be able to hear the sound on this. This is a guy, have you seen this one? In his apartment, listening to a bit of Phil Collins. Oh, hang on, let's go back to that. Right.
Oh, we can't hear him. Is that Lee Jackson?
It looks like Lee Jackson, the former
It's Lee Jackson,
who is the former Professional Speaking Association president of Yorkshire and national president, and now in charge of the PSA Foundation and a friend of the show.
On that, but I'm guessing it was the beginning. Can you feel the something tonight?
yeah. Can you feel the heat?
Come in.
Can you hear it coming in the air tonight?
Yeah, that's it. The air tonight. That's it.
Cameron
In
did
the air tonight.
Top
Yeah.
advert, Gorilla, didn't they?
Yeah,
I used to love you.
that's that. And then this, do you know what that is? That is, someone has done a tapestry of a BBC One situation comedy. Do you know which one that is?
Is it
It's,
the
Blackadder?
Shakespeare one?
Ghosts.
No,
It's
it's the
not-
one with Shakespeare one. It's the one about Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Crow, something Crow or something.
Something Crow.
Up Crow.
Up Crow. Upstart Crow. Upstart Crow.
Between us, we'll get it right between us.
Yeah. So I
One
went to
syllable at a
see
time.
the play, The Upstart Crow. It's got the play is called The Upstart Crow to distinguish it from the TV program. And I went to see that about 4 days before the lockdown, when everyone was thinking, is it safe to go out? And they were saying, yeah, no, it's fine. You go out. And then, and then it's now closed. So I'm one of the few people that saw it. But that tapestry for it is brilliant.
Wow.
And then this is something I've been playing around with. That's how I'm going to look in the future. Have you ever played around?
Matron
A rabbi.
on First Dates.
Oh, right. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Fred
Yeah,
Seriax.
good. Is it Frank? Can't remember his name.
Fred Seriax.
Yeah, you look
Yeah.
like a rabbi.
Thank you very much, my son. Do they say that, rabbis? Or
I don't know.
is
No,
that
I don't know
Catholic
what it
priests?
is. I don't know. There's some like a, I don't know.
It won't be Catholic priests, will it? They won't have sons,
Yeah,
will they? Catholic
just
priests?
don't.
Probably not. Yeah.
We're all really on the button with the knowledge tonight, then,
Yeah,
aren't
how
we?
many
We are.
religions do you want to alienate right now?
But I'll just tell a Jewish story to finish. So I know you're going to
Give it a
be.
good start.
I'll just have a whisk.
What are you going to do about it? Etc. Go on. Sorry.
My show. It's my show, and if I want to do a Jewish story, I'll do one. So I was at this event. It was the International Stress Management Association's annual conference. Has anyone ever spoken at that? I've emceed that.
I've hosted it actually. It's very stressful.
Yeah, it's very stressful. I've done it 2 years running, and then I think they couldn't meet my fee, and then I think they brought Penny in at a lower rate. But anyway, there was this guy, and he was a brilliant speaker called Johnny Benjamin, and he was fantastic. And he was the guy. I don't know if you remember the story, but he was going to jump off, I think, Waterloo Bridge in London. He was very depressed, and a stranger talked him down. And then he launched a national campaign to find the stranger that talked him down. And he thought he was called Mike, and it was called Find Mike. And eventually he did find Mike, even though he wasn't actually called Mike. And now he's a brilliant speaker, Johnny Benjamin, and a mental health campaigner. And afterwards he came up to me and he said, "You're the best MC I've ever worked with." And I went, "Oh, thanks." And he went, "How come I don't know you?" And I said, "Well, I don't know." He said, where do you live? And I said, "London." And he went, "Well, why don't I know you?" And I went, "Well, big place." And he went, I said, "There's like 10 million of us." He went, "Yeah, but not Jewish." And I went, "Well, I'm not Jewish." He went, "Yes, you are."
I told you. I told
said-
you.
I said, "Well, trust me, I'm not. I was a Church of England choir boy." And he went, no, you're definitely Jewish. Because you're funny and the way you tell stories, you're definitely Jewish.
Turned up at a gig once in South Africa, and they were all a bit disappointed because they thought you were Jewish, and you weren't.
Did that?
And they're just like, oh, right.
The clue was they caught him eating a bacon sandwich.
What happened? Or are we going on too long?
You're going, well, I'm wrapping it up now. I thought I'll just do that funny little Jewish story. But I was at a gig in South Africa once, and on the way in, and I was billed as the 11th most famous BBC Jeremy. And on the way in, this lady said, "Oh, you're not the BBC Jeremy I thought you were going to be." And I said, "Oh, sorry, which one you were expecting?" And she said, "No, I can't remember his name, but he's not you." And I said, "Ah, well, if you can't remember his name, how do you know he's not me?" And she said, "No, because I know what he looks like, and he's tall and good looking." So that was nice. That was like, welcome to Johannesburg. And then on the way out, she said, "Now I've remembered who it was, Jeremy Vine. The tall and good looking one was Jeremy Vine. And to be fair, he is tall." Right. Okay. So that's. Shall we leave it there? I feel like I think we've
If
just
you're
about
sure,
done. Yeah. So look, none of us have got any paid work in person. We might have online coaching and various scams we've got going, but because side scams, knock off toilet roll enterprise, we might all have. But just for coming on the show, I'm going to give you all a chance to give a little plug. So I'll do mine to start with. I've got this new online group program starting for speakers. I just need 10 speakers to take part in Talking Funny for Speakers. I'm going to teach you how to add humor to business presentations, get serious laughs in serious talks. And just go to my website, jeremynicholas.co.uk/coaching. Right, let's go to Stuart. Plug away, Stuart. What have you got?
I am hastily developing some online courses, mainly around sales and customer service, increasing sales and improving customer service. And because my background was hotel management, I'm doing some do's and don'ts for the hotel industry, free of charge, just as a get your guys skilled up during lockdown. So I'm doing that, and people can find me, should they wish, at thestuartharris.com.
A little bit arrogant, thestuartharris.com.
I know. I feel as if I have to justify. It's not because I'm not arrogant. It's just stuartharris.com and stuartharris.co.uk, whatever that one is, we're already taken.
Yeah, I think there'll be a few people. There'll be a few people thinking, yeah, I'd like some sort of customer service type, customer retention thing. But it's just that because he says the Stuart Harris, I'm not sure he's. For that reason, I'm out. And you can imagine on Dragon's Den just pushing their chair back. Penny, plug away. What have you got for us?
Well, lockdown, as challenging as it is for businesses, individuals, and everyone in the country is having their own experience, I know. And it has given me the gift of time to do things that I hadn't actually had time to do before, and that have been on the big list. And one of them was turning a lot of what I've got in my book, Make Yourself a Little Bit Famous, into an hilarious podcast with the formerly mentioned Steve Blears, who is former Radio 5 Live reporter. And we both find each other very funny. Now, whether anyone else does or not, I don't know. But wherever you get your podcasts, the first episode is out. I'd love you to subscribe, rate it highly, and have a good listen. It's only 20 minutes long, but we have a laugh and we help you raise your profile, get known for what you do, even in difficult times.
Well, you have put a lot of effort into that, in securing the services of your partner who lives in the same house. I mean, you really have pushed the
and
boat
who
out there.
works in business, yeah.
Yeah. Is he your husband or is he your partner?
He's my husband.
Oh, right. It's just that when you said you still find him funny, I thought, well, they can't be married.
Well, we've not been married very long, you see. So we met years ago, but actually didn't get together until about 15 years after that. So for all that time, we were just these awkward friends who went, hi. And I always loved him from the minute I met him. I was like, oh my God, anyway, so that's why I love him.
All right. I've just been watching a program I'd never watched before at all, but during the time of the coronavirus, I've been watching something that reminds me a bit of your story with you and Steve, Last Tango in Halifax.
Oh, right. Yes, I've never watched that. I'll make it my destination binge watch.
I think it's an insult, Penny.
No, it's not. It's
Well,
not. It's set very near John, isn't it? Well, Halifax and Harrogate. It's set in the two places.
Yeah, but Penny's in Lim.
Yes, but yeah, it's near you. I was saying it's near. It's
near me. Yeah, Bradford. Yeah, Bradford.
Yeah.
Halifax, yeah.
So check that out, John. Now you're a motivational speaker and you're also a magician. So I mean, you can't do any of that stuff, can you?
No, that's right. So basically, I'm just having a nervous breakdown during.
Sorry, no need to laugh.
During lockdown, I'm trying to work out how to put my hand through the microphone and say, pick a card. So yeah, if anybody's looking for an offline, because eventually we are going to have some live events eventually, or an online speaker, if you're having an event for your staff or whatever, and you're looking for a speaker on resilience or managing change, then my website is Hotowka, that's HOTOWKA.co.uk.
Just go John Hot.
Johnny Hart.
Yeah, and the good thing is, where Stuart had to have the Stuart Harris, I can't imagine there's many John Hotowkas, is there?
Lord, there's about 7,940. No, seriously, this is so sad. I am the only Hotowka on the planet.
It's not making money right now.
Exactly. No, I'm not making money right now, but I'm still the only Hotowka on the planet, whether I'm making money or not.
Is that because it was a name that your parents made up?
Is it because you're
Well,
Jewish?
no, it was right. What happened was my father landed in the UK in about 1955,
Yeah.
and I think the correct name is Hotowka, with lots of Z's and C's and P's and Q's and
Where did he
things.
land from, John?
And he landed
From
on the dock.
Mars, was it? Planet Mars, wasn't it?
He went on the Mars, and he says, and they said name, and he goes Hotowka, and he went Hotowka, and that was
Yeah.
it.
Where was it?
They
Where was he
anglicised it.
Somewhere in
Polish,
Eastern Europe. Oh, Polish. Polish.
Polish.
Yeah.
He walked it all the way to Bradford.
You should
Fantastic.
ask Siri to look you up. It's hilarious what it says.
Sorry, what was that, Penny?
Ask Siri to Google you, and I asked, oh, what is it when you're in the car and you say, hey Siri, call. Oh no, I might start actually on my phone. I could do it now. Hey Siri, call John Hotowka, and it'll say calling John Hotowka. Calling John Hotowka.
Yeah, hey, it's coming through.
That's the best gag of the night.
The best gag of the night. I tell you what, I know we're going on too long. Can I tell you about the worst introduction I ever had?
Yeah, go on, John, because it's
Well,
not
they've switched
like.
off by now anyway.
It's not on what?
Well, I've just had a message here from Brian Barry, who, do you know Brian Barry, South African speaker but lives in Dublin.
Oh,
What a great show,
Never heard of it.
BB. What a great show this evening, Jem. We were properly entertained. Thanks, Brian and Kate Barry. So it sounds like they've already hung up because it's all in the past tense. But yeah, go on, John.
Right,
Do
best
you do your thing.
introduction ever. This is going back about 10 years, I don't know, 15 years or something. I'm doing after dinner. I'm doing magic. I'm in Doncaster. There's about, I don't know, 180 people. And the DJ is the MC, and he decides to introduce me. And he goes, on the microphone. Could I have your attention, please? Attention, please. Right. We've got somebody coming on now who does tricks. I've spoken to the booker, and he must be very good because he's VAT registered. John, waka, and I walk on to the sound of my own footsteps. Now, you three are experienced speakers, but you could learn something from this guy. So get your notepads and pens ready. He realized he made a mistake. So he thinks, I need to recover this. This is how he does it. Well, come on then, you buggers, clap him then. That was it. That's my
Have you
best.
written that down, Jeremy?
That's fantastic. Sorry, what, Stuart?
I said, have you written that down?
Yeah,
You might need that. You
I might need that. I need that. Right. So I like that, but I don't like the idea of John ending on the best story. So I'm just going to do one more story, and then we're done. I'll just do one. So it was.
You know, when BBC News or evening news presenters regionally try and close off the show, and
When they do the shuffling.
funny, right? And one of them will go, "That's right," and it means it to the end, right? But then the other one goes, "That's right. I mean, it happened to me as well," and they try and get the last word in, and then someone else backs up, and you're kind of there forever, and eventually they just go, "Good night."
By the way, if you're still listening to this, we'll be finished a week on Wednesday.
Yeah, I've not got a gig till September, so I'm fine.
Exactly, so we're all right. That's fine.
It's when the weather presenter then comes and perches on the end of the sofa and pretends to like them that really annoys me. Right, I've just finished with one story because it's my show and I'm allowed to, and I'm going to mute all your microphones so I can just do this. No, so when you said about Siri and calling John Hotowka on the thing, one time I was watching, the legendary speaker Philip Khan Punny.
Mm-hmm.
He's the most decorated. Yeah, fantastic voice. Philip Khan Punny. I've got this very strong voice. Most decorated UK Toastmaster ever. He's done fantastic in world speaking competitions. And he was doing a session on how to structure a speech. And it's something that I do as well. So I knew a bit about, and I was fascinated, and I was writing it all down. And I was in the front row, and my phone was in my pocket, and I suddenly realized I hadn't muted it. And I thought, oh, it'd be awful if my phone rang while Philip was speaking. And I kind of think he's like fantastic, and if I would be so embarrassed. So I put my hand down into my pocket to try and switch the phone off, and accidentally pressed the button that makes Siri come on. And so Philip got to the end of his point, paused, And from my pocket came a voice saying, "Sorry, I didn't quite get that." And it just sounded like I was heckling him. And he looked at me like, "Why would you do that to me, Jeremy?" And anyway, news just in from the Barrys. Brian Barry says, "Keep going. They haven't hung up. Fantastic. Still here and enjoying it." So Brian and Kate Barry, that is fantastic. Thank you very much. Right, we're going to leave it there. Thank you so much for coming on. If you could all in the comments on YouTube put your website so that people can find you. And I'm back on Wednesday, and I've got one guest confirmed so far, but I'm sure I'll have some more. And see if you can guess who it is from this description. She is the love. Yes, she's the love child of Victoria Wood and Barry Manilow. Heather Wright, yes. Had I told you before that Heather Wright was on? Yes.
You don't need anyone else if you've got Heather. It will just be fantastic.
Put yourself on mute and sit back.
Yeah. No, it'll be fantastic because I've got Heather on. I just need to get someone funny and then to balance up, and it'll be lovely. Love you, Heather. Okay, thanks, guys.
If you can get a decent host as well.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay, so let's all see who can have the last word. Yeah, thanks. Yeah. No, that happened to me.
Bye.
Yeah, no, thanks. Bye.
See ya.
Yeah.
Sponge. Cheers.